Being Bobby, Bobby being here with a great big notepad. Lots of prompts because I'm not very good at speaking off the top of my head these days. I hope you're all doing good. I'm back with a vlog just after a week out and I had to have a little rest, but I still posted some pictures on my Instagram at Being Bobby Bobby Being, so you can follow me there if you want to see those posts. There will be a link in the description below, I believe. And I didn't just mean to point at my crotch, so apologies about that. On this pad today I've got 30-day creativity challenge explored. So what I want to do is explore the benefits of being creative in more detail than I had a chance to when taking part in the 30-day creativity challenge. So I'm going to get straight to it because my phone only has a certain amount of time. Where is it? There it is. A certain amount of time for me to do this. So, boom. Here we go. The first thing I've got written down is, what is being creative? Well, I guess we generally know that being creative is usually associated with art forms, whether it be music, writing, acting, poetry, just saying ones that are coming off the top of my head. So you get the idea. But the thing is that although they certainly are forms of being creative, you can actually be creative in many different scenarios, many different walks of life. I could creatively put my socks on in the morning, which I haven't done today, but if I wanted to go and put my socks on after this video, I could approach it in a creative, fun, different way. So actually it's very much an approach, and I love that word, approach, because I think that's important in life, how you approach things, and it pretty much comes down to a state of mind, how you approach something. So I believe that's what creativity is. I believe it's a state of mind more than anything else. I've got here, being creative can be a great way of clearing our minds, of focusing on the isness of the present moment, so becoming rooted in that present moment and honouring that present moment. This is something that we can't do all the time, and we will struggle to do a lot of the time because that's not how the world, unfortunately, is set up, especially in this Western capitalistic society that we live in. But when we can do it, or the more we can practice it in our everyday activities, so not just when it comes around to special days out or special times or special goings on, the more we can incorporate this into our everyday life. So you probably heard the saying, go with the flow, and that's exactly what I've got written down here. Sometimes it's great just to be caught in that flow, that natural, organic flow of just embracing what is actually going on right now. So I've got positive psychology written down here, in the zone. I said, I didn't even mean to go Australian there. In the zone. So fully immersed in a feeling of energized focus, the enjoyment of doing, the enjoyment of the process. Somewhere up here, or maybe we'll have to come back to that later because my eyes aren't working. There you go. The process as it reveals itself to you. I love that. So being involved in a process that reveals itself to you, through you. Complete absorption in what one does, resulting in a loss of one's space and time. That is when we can't be there all the time, but that is when you truly know you've got love for the present moment. So these are all ideas which I think are really interesting. We've also got written down here, it doesn't have to be about an end goal or a means to an end, which seems to happen so much in life. So we can draw great parallels to this. From this creativeness, we can apply it to ways in which we live our life. I think a common mistake for happiness in life is, when I get that girlfriend or boyfriend, everything's going to be great. Or when I get that car, when I get that new promotion, or after I've gone on holiday, or when I next get paid. it goes on and on and on and on and on. Everything has a means to an end. Everything can be attained. Happiness can be bought. You can grab. There it goes. You can grab onto happiness as it runs by you. You can chase it. You can hunt it or whatever. No, I think happiness is very much coming back to that phrase: a state of mind, an approach, a practice, which is never going to be on one level. It's never always going to be up here. It's very much, I think happiness is also how you deal with the bad times in the best way possible as well. So I think that's a really interesting parallel which we can draw from this 30-day creativity challenge as well. I've got here expressing ourselves, whether that may be expressing the light of your being, things that you love and you feel happy about and make you feel great, or whether that's expressing the dark shadows of your being, so the so-called problems, hardships, things that you don't like. The word catharsis, which means the process of releasing and thereby providing relief from strong, repressed emotions. That's very much a part of creativity. Look at all the different artists out there, whether they be poets or musicians or films that deal with really hard, tough subjects. People go in there and then they kind of actually realise that, in a way, whether it be from the making of something or the watching or listening to something, you can actually address those deeper, darker sides to yourself and those deeper, darker sides to reality, or so-called reality, what's going on around us. And I think that's a really important part of being creative. So coming down the list, as time is running out on my phone, I hope it doesn't explode when that timer gets to the end. I'm a little bit nervous. Being creative isn't solely about being artistic. So we've already gone over this. It is a state of mind. We can create new ideas. We can create solutions to problems. You know, I've got written down here that it can act as therapy for the mind and the soul. So that basically kind of brings together those other points which I said previously. We're almost there. We're almost at the end of this page. Just do it is written down. I mentioned in other blogs, vlogs, whatever you want to call them, blogs, about Shia LaBeouf's video where he's screaming, "Just do it." And that was one of the things that inspired me to just do it. Also, I watched one of my friends' vlogs, Callum Pugsley. I'll try and put a link in the description. How he was saying, you know, sometimes you just got to get out there and just do it. It's not about the end goal. It's not about being the best necessarily. Okay, not in these walks of life. Try not to force think, I've got here. Embrace those natural, organic thought processes. So going on about, or moving on from, it's not always about being the best. I think we live in a world of lots of comparison, especially through social media, always seeing the best parts of people's life. People trying to be the best or the best. People trying to be perfect or perfect. What is perfection anyway? You know, one person's perfection is another person's idea of imperfection. So being creative, it doesn't mean that you don't have to have any ambition, but if that is the absolute sole focus, you'll spend your whole life trying to get to that one place, completely missing all the steps along the way and not enjoying those steps. And then before you know it, you know, you're dying to get somewhere, you're dying to get that next job, you're dying to do this, you're dying to do this, and then you're dead. Okay? So embracing those natural, organic thoughts, trying not to falsify these processes is something that I learned as well. Things didn't have to be perfect at all. on this 30-day creativity challenge, there were so many videos that I thought, oh my goodness, that object has made its way into the frame. Have I accidentally done product placement? Or this noise is going on. Oh, should I do that shot again? And I thought, no, I don't want to falsify this. I just want to go with the flow and embrace that. And there's something incredibly calming and peaceful about that. So I've got 3 starred points left, and then I'll shut up. But hopefully this video helps you. Oh, time really is running low. So here we go. Well, we've already talked about it actually. I've jumped ahead of myself. Not aiming for perfection. In some times in life, that makes sense. But in other, you don't have to aim for perfection in everything you do. Not everything has to be so-called perfect. And relax and forgive yourself for that. Not taking things too seriously. So many things in life we take too seriously and it becomes infectious. Before we know it, everything is becoming too serious. And it kind of links in with everything is about being the best. But sometimes just being is enough. And there's a very healing aspect to that. Did you ever wake up in the day where you set yourself so many different tasks and then before you know it, checking the time, before you know it, it's all going wrong, you're getting frustrated, you're taking things seriously, rather than actually you could step back, not set yourself as much, and just, you kind of have an idea of what you want to do, but just go with that process and try and make fun of things as much as you can. It doesn't have to be all the time. It does sometimes, but it doesn't have to be as serious as you always make it out to be. My last point, and I have under a minute, I'm just going to read it out. Life is an opportunity to express, to have fun with, to create, to celebrate, to explore. Okay? It's very rare that everyday life promotes these things with the same importance as becoming a slave in our economic capitalistic system seems to be more important for the powers that be. That's a whole another video, but you don't have to fall or become a complete slave to that. Being creative can be one way that you can rebel against that.